Welcome back to another episode with Mystic Scales and Fae
And Faye
Tales
Tales
Podcast.
podcast.
I'm one of your hosts, Jennifer,
And I'm your other host, Lee.
and welcome back if you have been here before, and welcome if it's your first time. We are a fantasy, dystopian, romance podcast. But today we have a little bit of a twist because the book we're reading, I guess, kind of falls into fantasy, but a little more than that.
Yeah.
This is a 30-minute mini episode. We do two 30-minute episodes a month and one long hour episode, or two long hour episodes a month as well. Check us out on all of the platforms to see all of our episodes. We are deep inside the Grishaverse right now by Lee Bardugo. So that's a lot of different books, like 3 different series within that. And we're finishing up with our book club on the app Babel. So another plug, find us on the app Babel. We have our book club there with over 600 members, and we read books and review them here on the podcast. So that's your
Yeah.
quick little intro, because that's happening on our main episodes. If you want to listen to our longer episodes, you'll see that happening. But on our mini episodes, which is today's episode, 30 minutes long, we have been doing some fun book to movie adaptations.
Indeed.
And we also do like fun one-off books. We've done a whole Allie Hazelwood series and things like that. But we are continuing in our summer of book to movie adaptations or book to media adaptations. We have previously done every year after and every summer after was the book. And today we're excited to talk about Blockbuster. Everyone knows about it. Everyone's hopefully started to go see it. And that is the Odyssey. So
Dun,
obviously
dun,
that is a
dun.
book. The Odyssey has
Sure
existed for
is.
3,000 years. And has been made into a movie by none other than Christopher Nolan. So I'm sure that you've seen it everywhere on your social media, on TV, in the movies. It's a huge moment right now. And we are big movie people aside from being big book people.
So true.
So this was just like a perfect episode for us to go watch a movie that we've been dying to see since it was announced. And then now we obviously refreshed on the poem to read it and talk about it here. I think I got that all right. Like that's the
Yeah.
gist.
No, that's perfect. Yeah. Um, the book that I have currently is one we got to share. It's a graphic novel of the story that we got just to kind of like brush up on things.
Yeah, who's
So
the author again? Who's the illustrator author for that?
his name is Gareth Hines.
Gareth Hines. Yes. Yeah, I actually just went to Barnes Noble yesterday. And I found out they had a special edition of that same book, and it was like
Oh,
all
okay.
pretty. It kind of looks like a Nat Geo cover. Like it's like pretty in design.
Okay.
Um, but we have, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, like others, have read the Odyssey in school or just at some point interacted with it in their lives. So before
Right.
we wanted to rewatch the movie or watch the movie, we wanted to refresh ourselves on the poem, the classic poem. So it was, I loved the idea of us using a graphic novel. I think that was so fun, especially because we just read a graphic novel for the Grishaverse stuff. So just to be able
Yeah,
to like visualize and get someone else's perspective on this interpretation of the story before we saw Christopher Nolan's interpretation.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And it was helpful,
Yeah.
for sure. So, where do you want to begin?
I know. So, spoilers ahead for the movie. I'm not gonna say spoilers for the Odyssey
The
because I love.
story, yeah.
Someone said that, posted that, and they were like, "Bro, you've had 3,000 years. Like, what are you talking about spoilers?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"So true." So spoilers for the movie for sure. Ahead. So, I pulled some images. So for our visual aspects, so if you're watching us on YouTube or on TikTok, when we pull our videos and Instagram to see the book because its illustrations were very great. I think like we mentioned we did this graphic novel adaptation to then see Christopher Nolan's vision, and for me, I think what was fun was we were texting each other because we would be like, oh my god, I can't believe this is what Odysseus looks like here, and then like because we're gonna see like Matt
Oh,
Damon or whatever.
right,
So
right.
I think it was funny being able to like see the visuals of someone's interpretation. Um, but to start off before that, what was your hopes and like anticipation and thoughts, going into this movie? Like this was the biggest movie of the year or one of the biggest. We do our Oscar parties every year. We watch all the Oscar nominated movies. We knew this was going to be a big deal. So what were your thoughts? Like were you hesitant? Were you excited, etc.?
That's a great question. I think a little mixed. I think I was excited for Tom Holland to like see him working with Christopher Nolan and seeing like what kind of partnership could come from that and just kind of like where does he go from here? Like I'd love to see him like grow and everything. Um and obviously like I think we're fans of like Zendaya, so like seeing her and like how does she play into it and I think we have some comments on that, like not in a bad way, but just like minor things. Uh, and I just like I think I knew that Matt Damon was gonna do a good job. I thought like that casting was really good. There were some people that I didn't realize were in it. I don't think I knew that Robert Pattinson was in it.
Oh wow, really? That's so funny.
Yeah. And then of course seeing him, he like his character is just kind of a joke. And I love all the memes about him at the end. Um, but I do appreciate this like partnership that like always stems from Christopher Nolan and his like actors. Um, and it's
Yeah,
been
did
a
you see that?
minute.
Did I send you that post of all of the actors he reuses and like them in the different movies and then them
Oh
later?
no.
Oh, I should send you that. So yeah, it shows like the way that he's used multiple of these actors in different of his films. So like a lot of
Mm,
them obviously were in so a lot of them were in Oppenheimer, but not all of them were in Oppenheimer. But there was also
hmm
like Inception and Interstellar, and the way that like he's brought back, he loves working with certain people again and again. And you're right, this
hmm
was Tom's introduction for that, and Zendaya's.
hmm
But even Elliot Page, they've worked with
Oh yeah,
previously,
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
and it was a few people in that Nolan had worked with previously. So it was pretty cool to see that repeated.
Yeah, I didn't see Oppenheimer. So I think the last Christopher Nolan that I watched was Tenet,
Oh wow.
which was crazy. But I mean, I think one of my like beginnings on like I'm gonna say like real film, or like being like more engaged in the film world was Inception.
Mm.
So I think this was like a little exciting to be like it felt like going back to that again. Oh, I see. So I was excited. Uh, I am always wary of things that are like super hyped. I feel like, so I do think that a part of me was like, is this gonna be good? Like, am I gonna like it as much? But um, obviously, like we knew, well, we don't, nominations have not come out yet. It's only July,
It's only
but
July. We have 6 more months.
we know that it's getting nominated. So we knew we are gonna watch it anyways. So why not see it in all its glory in IMAX on opening
Yeah.
weekend, you know? So, but tell
Yeah.
me about your journey.
We sadly, Lee and I, we got to see it together, which was amazing, but we sadly could not fight to get that 70 millimeter screen. We do live near one, so that was like even more sad because I know I saw people like driving like 2 hours to get to theirs. One of these
Yeah.
days I will get in. I'm still trying. Like I still look all the time. It's like still booked out for like over a month. There was like 3 a.m. showings, 2 a.m. showings, and I was down to clown. I would have done it, and I still will do it
Gosh.
honestly. But we did see it in IMAX, which was great at least. You know, like there was
hmm
a picture that someone posted, which I wish I grabbed for the episode, but we can always post it, of someone showing like the different screens as they get smaller and smaller and smaller. And
Right.
we were, 70 millimeter was obviously the first, but then what we saw was just second. So I felt like we were okay. We were like the second. We only missed like a
Yeah.
little bit of their, the tops and bottoms.
Yeah.
So that was great. But I've been so happy with this movie before going into it, just because it was giving so many people this like, oh my god, we have to get to the movies, like I'm so excited, like people were buying tickets a
hmm
year ahead of time, like although
hmm
that is like crazy to think about, to buy tickets for a movie a year ahead. I absolutely love the idea of getting people excited for film and creative and storytelling, and I think that's even more serendipitous. That's a story that's already existed for 3,000 years,
True.
and so to bring people together for that, it just like warms my heart. And I just like, I loved watching everyone's videos and their reactions or them going, and like the hype and everything that was made. Like the movie marketed itself without even needing marketing at that point. So
It did.
I
Yeah,
thought
that's
that
so
was
true.
great. And I did see Oppenheimer. I was very impressed with it. It was a very moving movie, very well done. and I've seen other of his films, but that one was the last one I saw from him. And so knowing that, and I that one I saw on the 70 millimeter screen,
Wow.
knowing that, I was like, oh, I cannot wait for this
Oh my
film.
gosh.
And I was excited for the casting. Um I hadn't really had much feeling about like what I wanted the film to be like, I guess, so to speak, of
Okay,
like,
yeah.
costumes or different things like that. I wasn't really thinking that because I was more focused on, I knew that a lot of this was done practical. And I thought that
Mm-hmm.
was really cool. Like, just being like, okay, he's
Mm-hmm.
bringing out this special camera for this. They
Mm-hmm.
have like, they're all the press now is all the stories of them like hiking up every day to the castle because that's a real castle they filmed in, and them being in the real water. Oh, I saw something
Right.
that the dolphins he included were real dolphins that were just going
Oh,
by when they were filming, and he just shot it because they were there and he kept it in the movie.
wow.
Like things like that. It's like the magic of movie making that gets me so excited. So I was already just like hyped getting into this. I was like, oh my God, we're going to have an amazing time. And I think we did. So, great transition to let's talk about this adaptation and what we thought. Um, I think let's start on the topic of the magical aspect and the realism of this movie.
Okay.
I think that I was very shocked, especially after we refreshed with the graphic novel, right? Because there's so many different ways that you could tell this story. But I was
Mm-hmm.
shocked that, going into it, we knew the only gods we were going to get was Athena, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and in the graphic novel we read, they still put the interpretations of the gods in their imagery,
Mm-hmm.
and he talks to some of them at some points in terms of like just speaking out loud, and the gods are there, whatever the case may be, or other characters interact. So I was like, wow, the idea to go into this Greek mythology and not see the gods is kind of crazy. Um, but I
That's true.
actually was very surprised that it worked. And we could talk more about Athena and her and when we get to the third act and talking about the flip of the story and the imagery. But
Mm-hmm.
I was just like really expecting to see Poseidon and Zeus. I was like, we have to, maybe not Zeus, but I was like Poseidon at least, because he like deeply
Mm-hmm.
offends Poseidon,
Mm-hmm.
Odysseus. So I was like, okay. But we don't, and instead we see them talking through it. It kind of reminded me of like when you first watch like the new Percy Jackson show. Like there is the aspects of the different gods, but you also like see their effects and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
like the thunder and the loudness and the water going crazy, like the presence of the god is
Mm-hmm.
there. And I think it works with the Odysseus that Matt Damon ended up playing, of being like someone who spites the gods or doesn't always believe in the gods, and they're like, do not know, I don't know if you should. And so like maybe their presence there would have not been as strong because of that. So what did you think? Did you like the idea of not having the gods there, or were you yearning for it?
No, I think it worked really well because I think it like embodied what like the people, the Greeks of that time, like how they interpreted the gods and how they felt, and like they weren't like seeing them, but it was the actions of like you do this thing wrong and the gods are gonna spite you, like. And so like having the sea like come into a rage and like his ship gets destroyed, or like having the wind stop because you ate the cattle, like, and now you're stranded. I think that was very powerful. And I think it
Mm-hmm.
fit well with like the tone and like what like Nolan was going for. So I think it did work. And I think like in retrospect, like if someone had appeared and they looked like high and mighty or whatever, and like I don't know if Poseidon had like his nets or something, like think like Finnick, like we would have been thrown off. We
It
would
would
have
have took
been
you
like,
out.
this is
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I think he did a good job. Um, and I also think, and maybe this is jumping ahead, but like with the Athena,
No,
like
let's talk about
kind of,
Athena. Yeah.
yeah, like with the Athena embodiment, and like she's there, right? It's Zendaya, she's there talking to him. And I feel like for most of it, she feels like a hallucination, but you know who she is, and he knows who she is. And then at the end, I'm gonna call it a twist that like he projected her as like the priestess who like died like at their
Mm-hmm.
hands at Troy. I felt like that was such a powerful thing and such a smart thing for Nolan to do. And I'm not sure that I necessarily like came up with that or would have come up with that, but the internet helps. Um
Well, I
so
like that we both walked away like being like, I took it this way. How did you take it? And then like even like people we were seeing with, they're like, how did you take it? I think that was interesting because I think that was on purpose. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. And I also think that that works with like this idea of the gods and how they were interpreted and whatnot. And like some
Yes,
people did interpret them differently, and some
such a
people,
great point.
some people probably did see them as like actual people, like in their everyday life. I also like I thought it was like subtle enough with like Telemachus asking or like saying like, "Oh, you have the eyes of Zeus" or something. Like whenever he got like visitors.
Oh,
I
the eyes
know,
of Athena.
was it Athena? Okay,
Yeah,
my
Athena.
bad.
Yeah.
But the idea that he's like looking for the gods in normal people.
Mm-hmm.
Some people were saying like, "Oh, they beat that over the head," but I thought like I think he
No.
said it like twice.
Yeah. No. 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 I don't
So,
think
but
it was beaten over the head at all.
yeah, I thought it was a good interpretation. I also think like I Telemachus and Tom Holland were a little hard to differentiate. And so in some ways you're like, "Oh, that's just like Tom. Like he's just being like a good kid."
Oh
And
no.
I don't know if they meant for that,
No, they
but
didn't. Okay, I'm
the
gonna table
point
that one. Yeah.
the point was that like Telemachus was like looking for the best in people and also treating them all in this idea of like Zeus's law and like
Hmm.
was very much like a wholesome, good person and wanted the best like for his people. And I mean, we'll get to it, but ultimately like that's kind of the message of the story.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting with Athena. I think it's like one of my favorite parts of the movie now with her because I think when I watched it, I had just believed that she was there. And, especially when you read the Odyssey, you're like, okay, Athena's there helping. She favors you. The interpretation is she favors him because of his strategy and his war, and that she's actually helping him get home. But what Nolan does is the complete opposite of that. That she actually doesn't. Well, I mean, you could take it into your interpretation, but my interpretation was that she doesn't actually favor him. And so there's this thought that people are also debating online, and we talk about when you watch it after that, like, was she really there or not? Was this something that he was guilting himself so much of that he envisioned that's what Athena would look like? Because kind of plays into this thing of like the mortals don't actually know what the gods look like. They don't actually know anything about the gods. Like they're not worthy of it. They are not gods. And it might have just been an innocent woman that was a priestess that he just like put that to, especially with the chopping of the statue of the head. Or was it her and she was haunting him this whole time? And there's many stories that talk about the offending the gods, and you don't think about it necessarily with this one because everyone, which was we'll get to the message. Okay, this is the message, that everyone sees the Trojan War as this great victory. But the way that it happened in Christopher Nolan's story and it happening at Athena's temple and the tragedy that occurred in the breaking of humanity and the symbolism, it technically could be interpreted as an offense to Athena, and she's offended by it and what you brought upon her temple, which was 100% valid and made so much sense. So then she could be haunting him this whole time. And then it's beautiful that they have this when he gets this third act monologue and telling of when you hear the events of Troy from Odysseus, he reaches out and goes to hold her hand and is like, is that her forgiving him, or is it forgiving himself, or what? Like there's so many things of like, is Athena there, is Athena not really there? And so I don't know what I still don't know what I believe. Like I love this idea that it's his subconscious completely torturing himself and like imagining that that's Athena because it was an innocent priestess murdered because of his actions. but I also kind of think it's both. Like I do think it's her too. Like I think she's there, and I think that she's intertwining with that, and
Yeah.
trying to teach him something. So there's so many different aspects of what it could be. And I love that. It's so cool.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I think it has to be that she was really there because that's what they believe, like so deeply rooted in the gods. And I think, like, if this had existed, like this interpretation had existed, like in a culture that like truly believed this, it would be like heresy because,
Mm,
like, to question if the gods are really there would not be okay. Um,
very true.
but I think it's interesting, obviously, that he like posed it that way. Although I think like the bigger thing that Odysseus comes to is like in the rule of Zeus, and like it's really Zeus's um
Mm,
like the hospitality that he's broken and that he beats himself up for. Um because like he destroyed innocent people. Like I it really took me back when they were like killing women and children like on the screen like it was nothing. There was
hmm
no thought, and it was like that's really like how brutal they were. And then for him to like come back and like
10
feel
years of anger.
it's yeah. And I don't know, you hear the stories of Troy and Helen of Troy, and like it's been sensationalized so much, but like no one I don't think has ever really like broken it down like this. And it's more than just like some guy like stealing another man's wife. It's like the after effects and like how that went against like literally their culture. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
yeah, no, go ahead.
No, it even changed my perspective because I'm running into this. I'm explaining it to. I'm even explaining it to people we're about to see the movie with. Like, don't remember. I'm like, yeah. So Helen was stolen and da da da. But then Richard Nolan completely changed my perspective. So this is the third act we're alluding to, and the swap on its head, or the plot twist. Lee described it as. I keep saying he turned the story on its head, and I love that. That it's with Helen's character as well, and her being so vocal in terms of like what she really feels, and her like one line she gets out, she
Mm-hmm.
knows that none of this was actually because she was stolen. It was all
Mm-hmm.
because men wanting power and wanting to take down Troy, and this was their example to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
we see that in many different stories we read. And then this idea that Odysseus created the horse as a way to get in, and everyone thinks this is an amazing way to end a war. It was so smart. And, you talk about it to this day, it's using metaphors and using stories and whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
it actually wasn't in Christopher Nolan's eyes because he just broke the hospitality, which is Zeus's law. And as a refresher for everyone, Zeus's law is you must treat all strangers with kindness and giving them food and giving them shelter because they could be a god in disguise.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, like fear, even though like you're doing something good because of it's doing good, but your intentions aren't actually good because you're actually scared of the repercussions. So that's why. But it did create this kind of blanket kindness that existed no matter what, whether or not you actually end up being fearful of the person being a god or not. And that was broken with this. And to give a gift for a god and say, this is a gift for Athena, we are valuing her, and then for it not to be a gift, for it to be a viper in disguise. It just showed so much chaos, and you broke the fragile peace. And the way that Nolan interpreted that was this mention of people attacking from the sea, and it's like, oh, this threat of people attacking from the sea, for them to them
Mm-hmm.
come to realize, no, it's actually was just all the soldiers on their way home or everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones that are vengeance, and they're the ones that are vicious and brutal, and they created that, and all because of Odysseus, like, and Agamemnon, and all of them creating the war to begin with. But
Right.
this break that Odysseus' action, breaking it and breaking
Mm-hmm.
the peace and breaking the hospitality, and just bringing on so much violence. And that's why he feels so much regret, and that's why he actually can't get home. Not because of this journey of the gods being mad at him and him being arrogant, because he is arrogant. He's still arrogant in the movie, but because doesn't feel he is worthy of going home after bringing such vengeance and violence into the world with this action. And because it
Right.
opens up so many people's minds, and then the soldiers go, and then the first thing he does with his people, they sack a village as well, and like all
Mm-hmm.
of these things of of the reaction of people being like, I can be violent and I'm fine. The gods didn't kill me, so I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
keep being violent. And it's just a reflection on modern times and what we go through and all these things. I was just like, oh, this is so genius. I thought it was such a beautiful way to tell the story, and to not have it just be that Odysseus is arrogant and makes dumb mistakes and that's why he can't get home, because he does do that. But him being not worthy of going home because of his
Mm-hmm.
actions.
Mm-hmm.
Mic drop.
And yeah, and also not just like, oh, he has to go after like trial after trial, like he has such bad luck, da 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 da, like he has to fight all these things. Like, no, there's like more behind it. And I thought the movie did a really good job um when he's stuck with Calypso and he like realizes that he doesn't want to go home, and she like says to him like, you were ready like in body but like not in like mind and heart, like you weren't. So that's why like I it was kind of weird that she was like helping him in a way because
Yeah, she was used as a plot device rather than actual her character, which was
yeah,
annoying.
because the actual like Calypso, like she wants to keep him, like
Yeah.
she like that's her man. I don't know if you know the um I think it's called Epic. It was like a musical. It's kind of like Hamilton style. It was like very popular on TikTok last year. And there's like a sound about like it's Calypso singing, and she sings like, "Who's Penelope?" And the guy says, "That's my wife." And she's just like, "Excuse
No,
me?"
it's not.
So they didn't quite do that here, but I thought like what they did worked. And they also like mixed her with the lotus plant of like
Mm-hmm.
being trapped. Because like in the graphic novel, it also shows that the lotus was something that like him and his men like had to
Got stuck with.
overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so crazy to me how long they were stuck places. Like years were like obviously they were still long,
Years.
but they were like nothing. And I was like, oh my God.
They were like nothing. They were. And it's insane to talk about that they're like 20 years, 10 years, 2 years. It's like, it's,
No.
but it's so realistic to like, they can't just like, get somewhere in a minute. You know what I mean? Like, it does take them
No.
a long time, and then they get lost at sea, and then they, insane. So I do want to touch quickly on like, what were your favorite performances and least favorite performances of this film?
Okay. Um I really liked, how do I say his name? Eumakis, the John Leguizamo sheep herder.
Oh, mm-hmm.
I liked what he represented, that he was kind of like Odysseus's last, like, really loyal, like, servant, but like
Other than the
also,
dog.
yeah, and he was taking care of the dog and like friend. And I thought he did a good job. I was shocked that it was him because I was like, okay, he plays Bruno in Encanto. I
You
was
know
like,
what
okay,
everyone says?
Bruno.
Though when they like describe the movie, they're like, Matt Damon and Sid the Sloth. And I was like, the disrespect to John Leguizamo, guys.
Dang. So yeah, I liked him. I thought Matt Damon did a good job,
Matt Damon did a fabulous job, especially that third act
especially
monologue.
yeah, and especially
That solidified it.
for yeah, for what this Odysseus was supposed to be like. I think again, if this had been made like 15, 20 years ago, it wouldn't have been this. Like, it would have been too glamorized, which is like what that movie Troy is with like Orlando Bloom, I think, and Brad Pitt. But ones that I didn't love, I don't want to say I didn't like Tom, but I think what I alluded to before is like, I don't know if there was a clear
Depth.
enough. Yeah.
I don't think there was depth to it. And I feel bad because I know that he's saying this is one of his favorite roles he's done, and like people are complimenting him this like his best role yet. But I don't think it's his best role yet at all. And I don't think it's his best role that he's done. Not that I don't think he can do dramatics. I've seen him do dramatics and he's very good at it. But it just, I don't know. It felt very
It could just be
surface
the writing. Yeah. Like it just wasn't,
for him.
yeah. Um, so he was fine.
What do you think of
Um,
Anne?
I I don't think I really liked her. I think I have a hot take and I don't think I really like her. and I probably shouldn't say that on
The
something
Year of Anne Hathaway, and
that
you
gets
don't
put on
like
the
Anne Hathaway?
internet. Yeah, I like Princess Diaries,
Oh
but
my God, that's so funny.
I
I think that there was certain scenes I loved her in. I loved her when she was like scolding Tom and like those instances, and I loved her interactions with Robert at some points. But I don't again, that could be the writing too. Like I don't know what else they could have given her to really
right, like what they were
push
going
that
for.
with
Um,
Penelope's character. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that she was fine. I wasn't like I think that if I'm thinking of in terms of when we eventually talk about awards and things, I wouldn't necessarily think that she like I actually think the supporting cast of this movie was phenomenal. Like I thought Elliot Page did a great job. I thought that oh my God, I'm blanking on their name, who plays Odysseus's friend.
yeah,
I thought he
his like
did an
right
amazing
hand.
job. I
Mm-hmm.
thought a lot of people that were supporting of these characters were phenomenal. Even like Lupita with her like very small Helen of Troy moments like was so powerful. So like
Mm-hmm.
I actually found those more intriguing other than Matt Damon than our long-term people, and I think that we both said immediately, why is Zendaya giving the same performance she gave in Dune 1? Like
Yeah.
it's very much the same, and I hated that. I really did.
Yeah.
I feel like people just don't use her to the ability that she could be used for, and I think she's an
Yeah,
amazing actor. I just don't think people use her properly.
I
And not
agree.
that it looked great. She did great, and the scene she had was amazing, and it was very powerful, and it was awesome with Matt Damon. But again, she could been used for so much more, and I don't know if I would have put her in this role because of that. Um,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it also didn't help that we saw a Dune 3 trailer like right before. And I was like, oh, hey.
Reminder.
Um,
I
but
think
yeah,
overall, though. Oh, sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, I agree that it's unfortunate that like, because you see seasons like 1 and 2 of Euphoria, and then you have this, and it's like, okay.
Actors have range. I understand. I think overall, like me and you definitely both agreed that like this movie will get nominated as Best Picture. Christopher Nolan's directing was amazing. I think that the
Hmm.
cinematography was amazing.
Hmm.
All the
The
technical aspects,
sound.
the sound, very overstimulating, very
Yeah,
very aggressive, but in a good way. Like it made its point. It did well,
it did.
and
But yes.
and the
Yeah.
soundtrack. That's our guy Ludwig. Like he keeps getting
Oh,
nominated, and keeps winning, and he's gonna keep winning because he keeps doing a
yeah.
really freaking good job.
Yeah.
So that's something. And I think my last question to you is: will you see it again? Would you see it again? And was it a good
What?
adaptation for you as well? That's the biggest question for this
I mean,
podcast.
that
Was
is
it a
the
good
right,
adaptation?
right. I do think it was a good adaptation. I really did love the message that he was able to put across, and I really liked that it wasn't just like a basic retelling of like stories that we know. Like we all know the Cyclops story. I do think it was interesting that he didn't include the nobody situation
That
because
was
that is
also
like
interesting.
yeah, but that was a choice and maybe like he didn't want to have like humor. I don't know. Um but I was looking forward to that scene because I knew it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was glad it was in there. But I like that he took it like a step further. Like this wasn't like the story, the poem itself is called an epic, right? Like it's an epic poem. And this felt like more than that, which I
Yeah.
enjoyed. Will I watch it again? Probably not for a while. But that doesn't mean I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, I never watched Oppenheimer again, but it didn't mean I didn't love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's one of
yeah.
those movies. We see a lot of those movies in our lives.
Yeah, I'm very glad I saw it. Um, so yeah.
I
What
agree.
what's your take?
I think it was a great adaptation in terms of bringing the idea of storytelling. And, you know, he even has this aspect where in the end they say not to write it down because they want to put it through verse and song.
Oh,
And that's
that
what
was
they
a
do.
great
That's what the
line.
story does. And then, and
Hmm.
then we didn't even mention that Travis Scott was in this movie, and we totally didn't even realize it was him until
Didn't
after.
know.
But it was the idea of having a rapper, because that's what the tradition of storytelling to music, and I think that was very smart. Um, everything just felt very intentional, everything felt very thought out, and everything felt very well done. So I thought it was a good adaptation because of that, because I like an adaptation that you can see the things that you're looking forward to, like you said, but that also give you a new perspective. So I think that's what adaptations should be. I think they should also give you new perspective on the story that you know and love. And that's what we're not seeing lately. And we've talked about that many times, of it being beat for beat, or them changing something that totally changes the tone and an aspect that doesn't make any sense. You're not actually giving me a new perspective. You're changing the story. So this is what I want. I want you to do the story. You can do the things I remember. You don't have to do them all, but you can also give me a new perspective on something that I know and love. That perfect explanation of what adaptation should be. I think that we feel that way about adaptations we love, like the Hunger Games and things like that. Like, it gives us new perspective on things we don't always catch from the book. And I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
beautiful. I will try to see it again in IMAX 70 millimeter, but if I don't, then maybe I'll do a little refresh before the Oscars at most.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll depend what else gets nominated because I think especially like all the secondary, I think maybe going back and like seeing that will be nice.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, definitely glad we did it. This is, a big month because Spider-Man's coming up. So,
Spider-Man.
um but yeah, this was truly epic.
Truly epic. What a way to end that. I love that. So thank you guys for listening to our review of the Odyssey, the movie by Christopher Nolan. Make sure to check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and let us know what you think of this adaptation. Let's discuss. Let's break it down together. Let's debate. I love it. Make sure to check out our book club on the app Babel to see us in the Grisha verse. We're on our last book of that, and then we'll be moving on to some other things. But it's crazy to end this extremely long
Bless.
series. Kind of crazy we did it. Like, can't believe it to this day. So make sure to check us out on there and like interact with us as we're reading, because we love to talk to everyone. And then we hope that you are having a good book to movie summer as we are. And, cut up with a good book, cut up with a good movie, and happy reading.
Happy reading.